Hey there, welcome or welcome back to Comfy Cat Yoga. My name is Phoenix and today is day 12 of our Mellow Movement Challenge. Today we're going to be doing a grounding Hatha flow, so if you're ready, go ahead and roll out a mat and we'll get started. Starting as we usually do, we're going to come into a nice comfortable seated position. We're going to roll the shoulders back, bringing the crown of the head nice and tall, and we're going to bring attention to our breath. Your hands can be wherever they want to be today, whether that's resting on your knees, maybe in your lap, resting palms up towards the sky, whatever feels good to you. You can also close your eyes or soften your gaze, just bringing attention to your breath. Not trying to force our breath at all, just letting it be natural, noticing how it naturally moves. Maybe take this time to set a resolution for yourself for our practice. What would you like to get out of it? And we'll try to work towards that goal as we carry through. We do have some balancing postures today, so be sure you're listening to your body. It's always okay to step out of balancing postures and rejoin when you're ready. And I'll give a couple alternatives that don't rely so much on your raw balance. Now that we're nice and grounded, we're going to turn lengthwise on our mat. Our legs should be coming out straight in front of us, and we're going to inhale, bringing the hands up, letting them cross one another before exhaling and folding forward. If you have a belt, this is a great area to use it. A lot of us are not quite flexible enough to grab the bottoms of our feet, so you can grab onto your calves, maybe your thighs, maybe you're resting the fingertips on the mat and using them to pull yourself forward, or you can use a belt and wrap it around the palm of your foot here. Use that to pull yourself forward. If your knees naturally want to bend, you can also let them bend here. This is totally fine. You can just start pushing into the feet and eventually they'll go straight over time. Try to breathe naturally here. Notice where your body is stretching, where it's holding on to tension, where it might be less flexible than other parts of the body. We're going to come back up after a few breaths. Nice and slow, bringing that posture nice and tall. We're going to cross our left leg over the right. We're going to keep the right leg outstretched here. We're going to bring the right hand over to the fleshy part of our knee here, letting the fingertips come up and using it as a kind of lever to turn us towards the side of the room. We're going to bring that other hand behind us to give us a little bit of support and make sure that our posture is staying nice and tall in our half king of fishes here. feeling any tension melt away. Notice all of the parts of your body that might be activated right now. Are you breathing normally? Or are you holding your breath? Be sure that you're not holding your breath, keeping the breathing nice and even. And go ahead and untwist. We're going to straighten that bent leg, maybe point and flex the toes before we cross our right leg over the left, bringing our left arm over, hooking it just below the knee, those fingertips facing up, the other hand right behind us, half king of fishes here. Breathe deeply, gently waking up the body this morning or this evening, whatever time it might be for you. Whether you're just starting your day, are in the middle of it, or are winding down, I'm happy you're here. Go ahead and untwist. We're going to bend both knees, butterflying them out. And we're going to touch the palms of our feet together. Your feet can be as close to the body as you would like them to be. So whether it's all the way up here or if it's farther down the mat, that's totally fine. It's just wherever you feel the stretch. We still want to be engaged. We want it to be a little bit of a challenge for us, but we never want to experience pain or pinching. We're going to interlace the fingers, wrapping them over the toes, and pushing the knees down with our muscles towards the floor. Trying to keep a nice tall posture here. Your shoulders will be rolled forward, but your back should still be engaged. In our bound angle pose here. Feel the hip flexors opening. On your inhale, feel the stretch. On your exhale, try to go a little deeper. Amazing job. Go ahead and release the toes. Let the legs go out, maybe pedal them a little bit, and then however you need to, come into a tabletop position. We're going to flatten the backs of the feet against the mat, stacking the shoulders over the wrists, stacking the hips over the knees. From our tabletop position, we're going to inhale, dropping the stomach, bringing the gaze up in our cow, and on our exhale, curling the spine, trying to bring the chest towards the pelvis, pushing through the hands in our cat. Follow your own breath, remembering to breathe deeply. Notice the opposites here in your spine as you drop your stomach in relation to how it feels when you curl the spine in. Wherever you are, go ahead and do it one more time. After your next exhale, go ahead and come back to a neutral tabletop position, realigning yourself however you need to. We're going to bring our left arm out, and we're going to lace it under the right, coming into a thread the needle, dropping the shoulder to the mat and the side of the head to the mat. Trying to keep our back feet where they were when we were in tabletop. So try not to let one slide over to the other. Feel the gentle twist here. Grounding through that standing hand. Allowing your shoulders to relax. Releasing any tension they might be holding on to. Go ahead and come back up, realigning our tabletop before sending that right hand out, lacing it under the left, shoulder to the mat, side of the head to the mat, trying to keep those back feet where they are. Breathing here, releasing the tension on this side as well. Awesome job. When you're ready, go ahead and come out of your twist. We're going to send the knees to the sides of the mat, big toes pointing towards one another, and drop the hips back, sliding the palms against the mat, coming into our child's pose. Breathing here, relaxing the shoulders. Giving our body a place to rest and reground. After your next exhale, go ahead and bring the weight forward, bringing the knees under the body, flattening the backs of the feet, coming into our Cobra pose. Trying to have the eyes of our elbows facing forward, shoulders strong and away from the ears. In our Cobra, straightening the backs of our feet so the toes aren't pointing towards each other anymore, should be running parallel to one another. We're going to curl the back toes under, send the hips up and back into our downward dog. Trying to press the chest towards the tops of the thighs. Grounding through your fingertips, through the palms of your hands. Trying to keep the arms nice and straight, readjusting them however you need to. Sometimes our hands slide. Maybe pedaling the feet. That feels good to you. Getting some snap, crackles, and pops. Breathing deeply. You can walk, hop, or float the feet forward to meet the hands. Coming into a forward fold here. Can keep a slight bend in your knees or an even more exaggerated bend, whatever feels good to you. Going to let those arms hang limp, grab the back of our calves, grab under our feet, or grab our elbows, coming into our forward fold here. Trying to keep the torso nice and heavy, lengthening the spine, letting the shoulders relax. A lot of the times we'll want to keep the shoulders engaged here, but just let them be. Let them chill out here. Breathe nice and deeply. Maybe feeling your breath expand against your thighs. On your next inhale, go ahead and let the fingers go limp, letting the arms go straight. And on your next inhale, curling the spine up, stacking one vertebrae on top of the other, coming up into Tadasana. Great job. From Tadasana, we're going to start moving into some more active poses. So we're going to inhale, bringing the hands up, interlacing the fingers, index fingers pointing up. Then we're going to exhale, going to the left side in a crescent pose. Grounding through the feet, imagine roots growing out from them, interlacing into the dirt below, tying us to the earth, making our body nice and strong here. Try to keep your neck engaged. Just don't let it lean against one of your arms. Try to keep your arms engaged. Both of them should be doing just as much work as the other here. A lot of the times we'll have the inkling to try and just rest this upper hand against our head. And we want to stay engaged, nice and strong here. Breathe evenly, don't hold your breath. On your next inhale, go ahead and come up. And on your next exhale, go ahead and drop to the right. Staying engaged through the arms, staying engaged through the neck. Breathing evenly. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, drop the arms. Maybe roll the shoulders if you need to, if you've built up some tension there. We're going to move into our balancing pose. So if you'd like to, you can grab a block or a book, just anything solid. If you don't feel like your balance is where it needs to be yet for your tree pose, we're going to bring the left foot up. I like to come up all the way with our knee to get a little bit of a feel for all of that weight being in the other foot. Once you feel stable here, you can drop it to wherever feels good to you in your tree. So there's a few options here. You can have your toes on the ground with your heel right above your ankle. This gives you a little bit of stability here, or you're still putting some weight in this leg, but also adding some extra weight into the balancing leg. If you'd like to, you can bring it up to your calf. If you feel stable here, that's perfect. If you'd like to go even further, you can bring it up to your thigh. The only rule here, do not push into your knee. If you rest your foot on your knee and it's pushing out to the side, that's a really easy way to injure your knee. So we're going to avoid that. For the block variations, you can set your block either the wide way or the skinny way right next to your foot. You can also put it up the tall way, and whatever way feels good to you. We're going to rest our toes there, and this makes it so that there's even more weight into this leg than with the toes on the ground. If you'd like it here, that just gets you used to having it up a little bit higher. And then the long way, same thing. This is like the step right before just balancing regularly. So whatever feels good to you. I'm going to bring mine up to my calf. And you might find it easier to balance on one side than the other. And that's perfectly normal. We're going to focus on bringing this bent knee out to the side so it's in line with our hips. Grounding through all 4 points of the standing foot. Once we feel stable here, we can inhale, bringing the arms up nice and slow, interlacing the fingers, index fingers pointing up, dropping the shoulders away from the ears in our full tree pose. If you don't feel stable doing this, you can also bring them to heart center, or you can even have them out to the sides. It's whatever feels right to you. Once you find your stability, remember to breathe normally. Holding your breath here will make it harder to balance. And once again, it's okay to step out of this pose if you need to. Breathe normally. On your next exhale, go ahead and bring the hands to heart center and then gently drop the foot. The standing foot you can flex and point, relieving any tension you might have built up there. Then bringing the hands down to the sides. Back into our Tadasana. Awesome job. From our Tadasana, we're going to repeat on the other side. So as a quick reminder, toes can be on the ground with the heel above the ankle, calf, thigh, long ways, short ways, or wide ways if you're using a block. I'm going to go on my calf again here. You might feel more stable on one side than the other. Remember not to push into your knee. That's how you injure it. Focus on bringing that knee out to the side. And then once you find your stability, inhale, slowly bringing the arms up, interlacing the fingers at the top, index finger pointing up into our full tree, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe normally, don't hold your breath. Imagine roots growing through the standing foot, making it impossible for you to fall out. On your next exhale, go ahead and bring the palms down into heart center before gently dropping the foot. And then you can flex and point the standing foot. Dropping the arms, coming back into Tadasana. Excellent job. That'll be the only balancing posture we're doing today, so you're past the hardest part. From our Tadasana, we are going to step our feet out just so they're a bit wider than shoulder width apart. Our toes should be facing towards the corners of the mat, and we're going to hinge at the hips, bringing the chest down towards the ground, grabbing the back of the calves, the feet, the thighs, or resting the fingertips on the mat, maybe grabbing the elbows, and a wide leg forward fold. Try to make the torso nice and heavy. We're going to walk our hands over to the left foot, holding on to the top of the left foot, trying to bring our chest as close to that knee as we can, feeling a little bit deeper of a stretch on this side. Great job. We're going to walk the hands over to the other side, resting them on top of the foot, bringing the chest as close to the knee as we can. Breathing here. And walking back to the center, hinging at the hips, coming back up. Great job. Facing the front of our mat, we're going to step the right foot forward, stepping the left foot back at an angle, trying to keep our heels on about the same line, bending the front knee to stacking it over the front ankle, turning the torso forward, inhaling, and bringing the arms up into our warrior one. Grounding through that front foot and through the back toe. Keeping the posture nice and tall. On your inhale, make those roots grow deeper. On your exhale, imagine the air going out through your fingertips, up into the sky. Keeping our feet where they're positioned right now, we're going to turn our torso to the left side of the room, flattening the arms out, staying engaged through the shoulders, palms of the hands facing down, looking over the front fingertips into our warrior two. Stay engaged through this back shoulder so that arm doesn't drop over time. On your inhale, make those roots grow. On your exhale, make the air go out of your fingertips. Turn the torso back forward, bringing the arms up. Take a big inhale. And on your exhale, step the back foot forward, dropping the arms back into Tadasana. Rolling the shoulders if you need to, if they built up any tension. Taking a couple grounding breaths here. Feeling the points of your feet in contact with the ground. And then when you're ready, sending the right foot back at whatever angle it needs to be at, and just making sure that our heels are on about the same line. Bending that front knee, stacking it over the front ankle, turning the torso all the way forward, inhaling, bringing the arms up, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, warrior one. Remember your grounding breaths. On your inhale, let the roots through your feet grow. On your exhale, imagine the air going up and out through your fingertips. Awesome job. Check in with your body, see how it's feeling. On your next exhale, go ahead and drop the arms, turning the torso towards the right side of the room. Flattening out the hands, palms facing towards the ground, and then looking over the front fingertips. Staying engaged through that back shoulder so it doesn't fall. Keeping the feet where they were, making sure that that knee is still stacked over the ankle and it hasn't come out like this. Grounding through the feet. Exhaling the air out of the fingertips. Keeping the chest nice and open. On your next exhale, go ahead and turn the torso forward, bringing the arms up. And on your next exhale, stepping the back foot forward, dropping the arms back into Tadasana, rolling the shoulders to relieve any tension. Taking a few grounding breaths here. Awesome job. We're going to inhale, bringing the arms up, letting them cross over one another. For exhaling, hinging at the hips, bringing the fingertips to the mat, stepping the feet backwards, coming into a plank, grounding through our hands. You can drop your knees if you would like to. Take a couple breaths here, try to keep them nice and even. On your next exhale, gently bend the elbows, nice and slow, chaturanga, dropping the pelvis, the chest to the mat, flattening the backs of the feet, and pushing up into our Cobra. Send the weight back, coming into a tabletop very briefly before spreading the knees out to the sides of the yoga mat. Big toes pointing towards one another, sending the hips back, sliding the hands along the mat, coming into our extended child's pose again. Once you feel grounded again, go ahead and come to a laying down position, however you need to get there, nice and gently. Interlacing the fingers, resting them on the stomach. Noticing our inhales and exhales. Moving into our last asana, we are going to bend the left knee, grabbing it with the right hand and pulling it over to the right side of the body. Sending that other hand out to the side, or maybe just resting on your ribs, a supine twist. Feel your breath settling. Feel your heart rate returning to normal. Go ahead and untwist, straightening that bent leg, letting it go to the mat. Before bending the right knee, grabbing it with the left hand and pulling it over to the left side of the body, sending that back hand out to the side or resting on your ribs in our supine twist on this side. Remember your resolution that you set at the beginning of class. How's your body feeling? Check in with yourself. Go ahead and untwist, letting your leg fall nice and straight, letting them relax, letting your arms relax to your sides, palm facing up, maybe closing your eyes or softening your gaze, coming into Savasana. Notice all of the contact points between your body and the floor, imagining small roots growing out of those points into the ground, deepening your focus on your breath, deepening your relaxation, absorbing our grounding practice today. You can stay in Savasana for as long as you'd like. If you need a little more time, that's totally fine. When you're ready, coming up to a seated position after fully re-engaging with your body by wiggling your toes or your fingers, gently coming up in your own time. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, what you'd like to see, how it felt, and I hope to see you later. Namaste, take peace. We'll see you next time.